Hey, I'm back. I know you're all freaking excited. I was out of the country for a little bit and I changed jobs and it was the holidays. So with this new year, kind of new me and resolutions that people do, I wanted to make a video kind of about your spiritual health. And by spiritual, I don't mean religion. I mean that inner core being that is you and that does what you do and kind of keeps you moving day to day. About a year ago, probably maybe closer to 2 years ago, I had watched one of those Oprah things on her channel, and she had Shonda Rhimes on there, who created Grey's Anatomy and Scandal and a couple other shows, and she was talking about this book that she wrote called The Year of Yes, where she had been asked to do things and she had all this insecurity about doing these projects and kind of didn't know where that was coming from, and until she finally realized that it was her fear talking, and she decided to say yes to herself and do it anyway, and great things started to happen for her. And I thought about it, and it just stuck with me. Whatever it was, I'm like, that's absolutely right, and that's what I've been doing, is negotiating myself away and saying no, and kind of not saying yes to what I want to do, whether it be travel or whatever. So I booked a trip to India and I went by myself for 2 weeks and had absolutely the time of my life. And if you are even considering going, I highly recommend it. But of course I had fear, and a woman traveling alone to a foreign country where women don't have the same rights, of course I was afraid. But once I got there, all the fear had dissipated. I met some awesome people, and when I came back, I was a completely changed person. I had all this confidence, thinking, if I can do that and survive and flourish, and what else can I do that I've been saying no to myself or negotiating away because I was afraid of, oh my God, I might actually succeed and then have to be who I was meant to be. And so many people, I think, and it doesn't have to be India, whether it's not for everybody, whether it's learn a new sport or a musical instrument, or maybe take your career in a different direction that maybe scares the shit out of you. Do it. Like, it should scare the shit out of you. That's the purpose. You have to conquer that fear. And of course I have times when I'm afraid, but I always kind of knew that regret is a bigger pill to swallow. Working in a nursing home, you see people at the end of their life, and it's always, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I would have said this. It's never, oh, I was afraid and I'm really glad that I didn't go because I'm so afraid. It's always a regret that comes up. And I thought, you know what, I've been given that opportunity where I see that and recognize it, and I'm going to do my best not to continue my life full of regret, where just because I'm afraid and I'm acting small and I don't want to take a leap of faith and go out there and do what I was meant to do. I think so many people, myself included, kind of live in this place, or I was living in this place of like quiet desperation, where like I have all these dreams and goals for myself, but I have kids and I have work and I have a husband and dogs and this and that, and I have responsibilities. And yes, all those things are important, but when you use it as an excuse not to do what you are meant to do, then that's where it kind of eats your soul a little bit. And there were plenty of years that I was just like, oh my God, is this all there is to it? Like, can I do this for another God awful how many years that I'm going to be here? Like, there was like nothing to look forward to. And then I realized I am negotiating myself away. I'm saying no to myself. Why? Nobody else was putting these things in my head saying, no, you can't do that because you're a girl, or you have kids, or you have a husband or whatever. It was my own insecurity and, lack of self-confidence that I thought, screw that, I'm doing it anyway. So I booked my trip to India and I went and I had a good time. So screw you, fear. So it's one of those things that I just encourage everybody out there. If any of this makes sense to you, I am not by any means Oprah or kind of like the sage of whatever. I'm screwing it up just like everybody else. And if I learn a little lesson and I can share it with you, I'll try. But I encourage all of you out there, if you have a little something in the back of your head that you're like, oh, I really wish I had the balls to do that, do it. Fear is temporary, regrets forever, and your life is so finite. I just turned 43 and I think, oh my God, when did that happen? I just feel like I was 26 just like 4 years ago, but clearly I'm not. But I just want to encourage everybody out there, live your dreams. And I know that sounds very cliche and whatever, but I'm not talking about being a rock star or whatever. I'm talking about the simple things that make you look forward to the next thing. Like I'm going to an elephant sanctuary in Sri Lanka with my girl Vanessa, and I am so freaking excited. Like I can't wait and yes, I'm a little bit scared. I've never been to Sri Lanka. It's a really long plane ride. But I'm really, really excited. So I know that from past experience, that fear will go away and I will have memories that will live with me forever. And I really can't wait. And I'm not saying that to brag or anything. I just want to encourage you to get out there and stop being a slave to fear, because fear, honestly, is an asshole and a liar. It's going to tell you, you can't do this because you're a woman. You can't do it because you're married, you have kids, you have this, you have that. Bullshit. Do it anyway, and you will find a whole new world open up to you, and all these things, all these opportunities will come forward to you, and you will start to have a kind of, I'm not saying my life is perfect by any means, but I have things that I look forward to, and I'm like, every day I'm like, what's next? I can't wait. And I'm crazy. But it's just one of them things, and I think, I've been there, I've done that, I've been a slave to fear, and I want to encourage you that if I can get out from under it, all of you can get out from under it. So I hope this has encouraged at least one person to, get out there and live your life, baby. Namaste.